All right, I'm gonna flip my camera around and it's always nice to see like an empty open table. Let's see if I can fix some of the shadow. Get my hand out of the way. Okay. So this is my first late night beading in a while, but it's really not late night. This is, I think I was shooting for like, I usually go on a midnight Hawaii time. But hitting it at 9 something Hawaii time. I was shooting for 9 p.m., but I just got home from work and I was like, I better eat some dinner and I better pay attention to my waffles and do some things before I hop into beading. Looking around my table, ooh, look at that. I have some Super 7. Oh my God, look at these tourmalines. These are just some things I have on my desk right now. Oh, look at this. Aren't these super cute? My friend Jane, Bead Crumbs, she's going to be showing how to do these little bunnies in brick stitch with the patterns. She's coming and doing this with us on Saturday. Not tomorrow, but 1 week from tomorrow. So if you want to know how to make these, hop on and join us. It's going to be on our Facebook, but if you're only on YouTube and you're like, I want to watch it on YouTube, let me know so I can stream it to YouTube as well. We're going to be cruising together, me and Jane. I think I'm going to try and make this one. I am not good at brick stitch. Now, if you're good at brick stitch, put your hands up or let me know. I have a story about brick stitch. My mom, this was 24 years ago. We went to Bead and Button in Oregon. I signed up for a brick stitch class. Now, the only requirement was you come to this class with some basic knowledge. I had nothing, right? I was like, oh no, I signed up for an intermediate brick stitch class. And I was so worried that the teacher was going to be angry with me for showing up and not knowing even the basics. So the night before in our hotel in Oregon, I'm from Hawaii, I'm trying to teach myself how to brick stitch. The book I was using at that moment was Carol Wilcox Wells's Brick Stitch. I think it was it her Brick Stitch book or Art and Elegance of Bead Weaving? Oh my gosh, some of her books are just classics. So this, though, is what Jane and I are going to do. So you're welcome to join us. So in this late night beading, what I hope is that you also have something to work on. So it's just not me by myself. I have a tassel that I told my friend Heidi in a live that I would make. So I'm going to walk you through me making this tassel for her. So we have a fancy chain. And let me just, this is a perfect time for me to talk to you and teach you about chains, how they're made, what they're called, and how to cut them. You guys want to know all that, or should I just go for it and just make it? While you think about that, I'm going to get my cutters. My mag eyes, because I'm old. I'm 52 now. I am at the age that my mama was when I opened this store. I was 26 when I opened this store. My mom is 24 years older than me. And she was like, I need mag eyes. I was like, Mama, not mag eyes. She's like, I need magnifiers. I was like, why do you need magnifiers, Mom? Like, I could not imagine what it felt like not to be able to see, right? I was just like, are you kidding me? You just take the needle, you take that thread, and you just poke it in there. Then it wasn't, oh gosh, it wasn't even 10 years before I was like, I cannot see. I have no idea what's happening. You know what? Oh, Dar Smith says, I want to know. Right on. Hi, Amy. Okay, cool. It is always, it's always pleasing to know I'm not, that we have, that I have a riff going on with somebody. It feels good to be in a beading mood together. Let me just put a fan on, okay, you guys, because I'm in Hawaii and I know that if you're on the mainland, it might be cold right now, but I think my room right now is about 80 degrees. That combined with my hot flashes makes me very uncomfortable. You see, that's another thing that when I was younger, I had no idea about either. That, losing my eyesight, and hot flashes. They were all like foreign to me. I was like, what? I'm gonna put these cute little bunnies by Jane so I can look at them. These are some earrings that I bought in Tahiti. And I was like, these are so beautiful. But I don't know, you know, the surgical steel ear wires just weren't making me excited. I love this shape though. So this shape, you'll find it in Native American symbolism. They also, is it called a naha? And then it's also like a horseshoe shape. It's very powerful. It has like the crescent symbolism, the horseshoe symbolism. I like how there's like a flower inside of this. So I was like, that is beautiful. What can I do with that and like elevate it? So, you know what I always have in my bag, right? Always have some kind of Tahitian pearl. Ooh, you can help me design my earring. Do you think that I should use smooth pearls with this? Big or small? Or should I use Baroque pearls? So Baroque pearls are not smooth pearls. They're like a little bit less perfectly round. They have sometimes a teardrop shape. They have like the markings on them. You know that there's like circle pearls. So they have like these circly lines on there. That happens if you have like a little grain or grit in the mollusk. So as the pearl is growing in the nacre, the mucus is developing to protect the inside of the mollusk. You can see it just creates a line because if the grit is stuck in there, it's just going to keep shaping in a line. Isn't that cool? So if you have a preference or you want to see me design with these in a round or a Baroque shape, let me know. I'm going to attack this in just a little bit. Let me just get this a little higher. Okay. So when you're making a tassel with chains, the first thing is, do you need to cut the chain? Because if you don't need to cut the chain, then don't. That's just a waste of time and effort, right? And how long do we want the chain bits to be? I'm thinking, see if I cut it in fourths. Ooh, that's really nice. So I could get 4 pieces of that in there. So I'm going to show you how to put a chain tassel together. This chain, when you have a fancy chain like this, you always want to check and see if there is a place where you don't have to cut it. What does that mean? It means, is it unsoldered somewhere? So you want to check and open it up on the loop. And if it opens, you're so lucky. You're like, does it open? I'm pretty sure it does, but nope. Ooh, you know where it opens? It opens on this piece right here. So you get two tools. Okay, can you see that? So it's always good to check your chains and see if it opens up. If it does, yay! All right. This is a Rolo. A Rolo is a chain that is like a half round wire. So it might be a little bit of a thinner wire, but it looks thick because it's domed on the outside. Every loop is the same size on a Rolo. It's a very strong chain, very strong, very durable. I love how sturdy it is. This is called a curb chain, and curb chains have a slight twist to them. So what's really nice about, so this is a curb chain. You see this parts over here, they've been hammered flat. Some curb chains are just rounded wire, but this one is like hammered flat. It kind of reminds me of like old school 80s chain. And that's curb, C-U-R-B. That's really nice. There's a belcher or an oval chain that has a hammered oval. Both sides are hammered. And the link in between on this particular one is oval, smaller and not hammered or flattened. So you have a flattened hammered, and then you have a rounded plain in between. So I like chains that have a little bit of contrast to it. It makes you kind of appreciate the texture and then the smooth. So let's make a tassel. So we're gonna bring all the chains up through this cap, pull it up through here, and wire wrap it. Okay. It's kind of cool when all the chains are not the same length. If you have a preference, again, I'm here for you today. So you just let me know if your preference is to see the chains all the same length or not. Virginia says big Tahitian. I agree. I'm going to put the big Tahitian, girl. That's always the best call. I have bigger ones. Let's see. I'm going to use these because I like how smooth and round. I've been waiting to cut that. So, if I cut them to 3 pieces, it'll look like this. But they don't all have to be the same. Oh, that's kind of nice. I like that. For this chain right here, I'm going to cut it into that length. So I'm going to cut the chains in between. I'm using a cable cutter. When you're cutting chain, try your best not to use your best cutters if you don't have to. And when you're cutting chain that has a long and short, cut the short ones. Don't waste and cut the long chain lengths. Cut the short ones when you can. Okay, so I have 3 pieces. And then I'm gonna cut the curb. This is a thick chain, so you wanna be careful when you're cutting it. It doesn't all have to be the same again. In tassels, I don't like it actually when all my chains are the same length. I like it when there's a little bit of interest. That's kind of cool. But then you have to be like, okay, when you're sacrificing a chain, how many times do you want to cut it? That is important, right? Because you're losing a really nice rose gold plated link. So maybe on this one, I also will cut it to 3s, and this one I'll cut it to 4s. And this one, since we're not cutting it and it is unsoldered, I'm gonna do that on 4s as well. So this one I'll do is 3s. So I hope you like my measuring technique. Did you see that? The chain was sticking to my cutter. Ooh. Because it's not real rose gold. It is a plated rose gold. So look, it's not funny. It's like magnetized. You can test if a chain is base metal, because you put your magnet next to it and your magnet will pick it up. Your magnet will not pick up sterling silver. Okay. I was watching this video on YouTube on how to magnetize an item. It was so interesting. Like, I had no idea you can like hit it repeatedly. All right. I'm not an expert at that, so I better not have an opinion right now. Okay. So here is the Rolo chain. And since we're going to do this one in 4 pieces, I'm just going to cut it in half. And then I want to cut these 2 in half. So again, thank you for joining me for Late Night Beading with me, with Jamie. That's my name. And I was going to talk about gemstones tonight, but I was like, I got to finish this first. So if there's some time, I got to feed my doggy. But if there's time, I am going to talk about gemstones with you. If there's not time, I will tell you where you can find me talking about gemstones. I'll make 2 the same length as this. And then I'll just fold the chain and do the other half. You know what? It's interesting. I've been beading for 28 years now. And I love it so much. Like, I love how I feel when I'm doing it. But it's a guilty pleasure. It's almost like I feel like I don't deserve to do it sometimes. I feel like I have to do all my chores and dishes and all my responsibilities before I play. Because I feel like that's pretty much what it is. It's playtime. Does anyone feel that way? That it's just such a joyful, pleasureful hobby that there's a little bit of like, oh, I better do all my chores first, and then I can do whatever I want with my beads. All right, here's all my chains. We're gonna take a piece of wire, and it's just so easy. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm taking a chocolate break. I got this chocolate at made in Hawaii, and it's got rum soaked nibs in it. So I picked it up at the Run Factory that's near where Waffles goes for her daycare. I don't think there's got any alcohol content. I'm sure it's been burned off, but quite tasty. Okay, so I'm gonna take some copper wire. Make sure that it fits through the bead cap. You know, I really feel like this 22 gauge is too thin. So instead of using it and having regret, one moment while I look for some 20 gauge wire. Or 18. Let's see what I got. Dear beading gods, please let me have some 20 gauge wire for Heidi's tassel. Yahoo. Okay. So this wire, 20 gauge, is thicker than 22 gauge. So the bigger the number, the thinner the wire. So 30 gauge wire is super thin. 10 gauge wire is really thick. Okay. The bigger the number, the skinnier the wire. So I'm gonna take this 20 gauge and I'm gonna, see there's 4 different kinds. First of all, I'm gonna make sure that this fits in there. Yay, it does. Because if it didn't, I'd be a little bit bummed. I'm gonna make a loop at the end of my wire. How many of you out there make videos? If you do, could you tell me how you work far from your face and stay in the camera lens? Because I can't. The older I get, the more I keep pulling this closer to my face, you know, the project, the wire, and then it goes off screen and everyone's like, I can't see. And I'm like, I can't see either. So, old people problems. Not old, but aging, right? The nice part about life is it's so equalizing. No matter what I'm saying, one day, if you live to be this age, you'll go, oh, I get it. Okay. I hang this on here. So now I have one of each chain. Luckily, 20 gauge fits inside this hole. If it didn't, then you'd have to figure out like what you were gonna do. Okay. And I'm gonna stick on another set. And some of them I didn't cut for, so I'll figure out what I'm gonna do at that point. But let me just get one more set on there. We'll see the thickness of this tassel. Oh, it's gonna be pretty. I love mixed metals. And if the loop that I made earlier wasn't big enough, it's okay. Kind of just stretch it out and make it work. It's gonna be a very luscious project. These chains feel very luxe. Okay, so I think I'm gonna work backwards and put these at the start on the other end of the chain. That chain link right here, we cut off the loop somewhere along the way, so just take it off. And put on the piece that does have a loop. Boop. Okay. Here it comes. All right, so now I have all my chains here. Just gonna lock it down. Wrap the short leg around the long. The nice part, it doesn't have to look beautiful. You just wanna get it in there. Cut it. Put it through your cone or your bead cap. Ta-da! Add this wood because I kind of like the idea of having a wood component above it. Ooh, and I want to put a bead up there to plug the hole. Oh my God, that's kind of cool. Now Heidi is a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. So Heidi, I'm gonna just put my Tahitian pearl there for you. Yes, it's always good to be a Bead Gallery friend and customer, because when I do make stuff at home for you as my samples, I love it when I have good stuff out. Life is short. We got to use the best stuff, right? So I'm going to put a Tahitian pearl there. And I feel like I need some color separation between here and here. Not going to worry about it. I'm going to wire wrap it. I like actually how this is so organic. Perfect. All right. Do you have a wrap and tap at home, you guys? If you do, you can make a double loop. Now, I think Heidi is going to just slide it onto a piece of chain. No, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to make it big enough so she can. Just in case, okay? So I'm going to come around once. And then I'm going to come around one more time. So this will make the loop a little bit stronger because it is done only in 20 gauge wire. And I had to use 20 gauge. Why? Because I don't think I could have gotten 18 gauge through some of those chain holes. Okay, so double wrap that, hold it, and just come and wrap around. This is just some natural, oops, I gotta get off screen. Sorry, my wire is so long, it's stuck in my tech. Okay. Now I'm gonna wrap in between and down. Oh God, that's so nice. Then I'm gonna come back up on this side. Pull tight around. That didn't work, sorry. I might have to come around one more time to secure it. Oops. So the camera is only 6 inches away from my hands and my wire is like 1.5 feet, so it's yanking my camera. Apologies. Okay, so I'm gonna come up and I guess I have to come this way. Yeah, not the opposite way. Come around and back up to, let me just even that out with my fingers. It's a little bit rough only because of the different shapes, but it's going to be pretty, you will see. Tuck that end in. And here is Miss Heidi's chain tassel. Oh, that's nice. Okay. That's really nice. So that was just a project I told we sold this kit and I was like, I'll make yours for you, Heidi. So I'm gonna put that on the side. And I'm gonna make something for me, guys. I'm gonna finish it up with this. So a little late night beading. I hope you have some of your own projects out and you're beading with me. If you are, please let me know. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna find 2 beads. Those 2 right there are really nice. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. It was not meant to be permanent. Oh, so these are Tahitian pearls. Now, you might know by now if you've hung out with me before that I love Tahitian pearls. I've been to Tahiti, I think 5 times, with the blessing of having a dear friend who works for the airlines, and she likes to take me because I love pearls. Oh, these 2 are not the same size. One moment. Oh, top pair or bottom. Even though the top pair is a better match, I like the colors on this one. I don't think anyone's gonna notice when my head splits it that they are slightly different in size. Thumbs up if you agree. Is there a thumbs up? Hi, Marika. No macadamia nuts. Yeah, there's no macadamia nuts, Virginia. think I'm going to go with those, even though they're not quote unquote matching. Oh, but these light ones are pretty. Okay, so then I do the skin test. I am going to put it on my skin and look at the one that looks nicer. Oh, they're both kind of nice. Hi, Ginny. I feel like the darker one just has, I don't know, like a special glow to it. But the lighter one has a more green glow. All right. Oh, you guys, you know what we're supposed to do, or what I'm supposed to do? And I'm just like, I don't know. Hold on, let me show you. If I'm lucky, the last time I was working here, I had my dun, 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 my pendulum. This is my pendulum bracelet. You're like, what's a pendulum bracelet? So it's a pendulum and a bracelet. See? So here's the bracelet. Has like a little thing. So it's like my wrist carries my pendulum. And you're like, what's a pendulum? A pendulum is just a way of you reading your own body's signals and signs of what it is that you want. Now, I gotta lift this higher because I can't do my pendulum in such a tiny space. So you're gonna hold it. And just when you ask your pendulum a question, you can start to train it. So I've trained my pendulum or pendulums for years that my yes is to the right and my no is to the left. So you can start with a really easy question like, is my name blankety blank, right? So I'm thinking, is my name Jamie? Okay. So the answer is yes. So you can pick, other obvious things like, do I love my puppy? Do I love my dog? Whatever your doggy's name is. My dog's name is Waffles. So I'd be like, do I love Waffles? So mine is a yes. So I've kind of like, my mind definitely just goes yes and no easily. So I'm going to be like, or you can also do like a grid like this, where it's 0, 50, and 100%. But I'm just going to be like, oh, here. I'll put that on the left side, and I'll put these on the right side. And I'm going to put my pendulum in the center, and I'll be like, let's just ask it. My body already knows which one I like, but I'm having hesitation. So my hesitation is right down the center. So do I want the darker pearl or the greener pearl? Oh, I got sleepy. Okay, so I'm going to go with the darker pearl. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I never work with copper wire and pearls, so I'm going to do that today. I have this thing where if I say I never do this, I never do that, then I try to do whatever it is I just say I never do. I think it's a super good habit. I mean, as long as it's not something that is hurtful, right? All it can do is expand your mind and make sure that you try as many things as you can in our lifetime. Okay, so basic wire wrap. I'm just hoping that it'll fit in here. Yes! With some wiggle room. And I'm gonna wrap that. Just wrap it once. Woo! I'm gonna take my white Lindstroms. These are so awesome. You can cut so close up to 22 gauge. Look at that. Nothing sticks out. Put on my pearl. I'm going to just a really basic wire wrap. So simple. Why? Because I want to wear these as just super simple earrings. Hey, yeah. Look, I forgot what I was doing. I use this tool, the base. I use these. So I'll come back and I'll use these for the other side. pliers so you can see. Tuck that in. I could make the loops smaller, but I feel like the piece itself lends itself to bolder, larger loops. Oh, that's so nice. And I'm going to do the other side. It is, I welcome any feedback, questions. If you're just feeling like you want to shout out and chat. The only problem is I'm taping with my phone and I can't see comments. It's like the weirdest thing. So if you want to comment, just comment and know that every so often I do go up and I touch my phone to see what is going on. If you guys want me to do a Tahitian Pearl sale project or, you know, like a little gift with purchase, let me know. Because I am going to be heading out to Tahiti. I got invited again. So I'm going to be heading out to Tahiti in, my gosh, a couple of weeks. I'm going to go stay on Raiatea, which is an island. I stay on a farm, a pearl farm, that doesn't have a bathroom. I find that to be very exciting and thrilling because how often do we have that challenge, you know? My friend who is the farmer caught me lunch and dinner the last time, like 10 o'clock at night after work is done. We sat on the wooden planks of the farm outside in the middle of the ocean and could hear the fish jumping. And he's like, oh, I'll go and get some lunch. I was like, huh? Like, I am used to Safeway. I was like, oh, there's no Safeway. There's no lights out here. There's no electricity. My goodness, what a thrill to be able to eat food that we catch, right? Okay. I always like to fix my loops so that they're lined up, all my ends are tucked in, and you want to make everything as pleasing to the eye as you can. And now I just need some ear wires. Hi, Giovanni. Look at that. These are mine. Do you know I've been wanting to wear these for at least 2-3 years? All right. What do you do if you don't have ear wires? I don't know. Should I make a pair? What is this? 20 gauge. Okay, let me try to make a pair. Usually I wear like, I don't know if I can make earring wires, truthfully, in 20 gauge. I mean, I could, but you know what? It's for me. No one's gonna complain. So I just need to straighten out my wire, get some of the kinks out. This also hardens it. Heat and tension hardens wire, and I want a hardened wire because I don't want a soft wire that's just gonna bend and lose its shape. Okay, so I'm gonna straighten my wire. My wire is getting tense. Ah, Kevy, thank you so much. So as I do this, it's getting more and more tense. I wish you could hear it. I wonder if you can hear it. You can hear it boing. We can feel it. I have funky ear holes, Virginia. My ear hole's like 21 gauge. I know. So the ear wires we sell in the store tend to also be 21 gauge and work hardened. What ear wire would be pretty? I mean, like, there's the simple old ear wire. This one. The one that Ah, we should deburr the ends. Let me see if I have a file. Hold on. I might not have one just easily accessible. I don't want to leave you guys for 10 minutes while I go look for my deburr. But basically what it is imagine a cup that has you know, like an emery board where it has like a gritty surface in a cup. And then you take the cup and you put it on the end of the wire and it just sands it down. So when you poke this in your ear, you don't get any scratches. So that's called a cup burr. It's a cup with a little burr. That thing is so good. Like, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, where's my cup burr? I can do it at work tomorrow. The other thing is, do I want something fancy? Like a spiral? I don't know, because I feel like if I put a spiral on the front of my ear wire and then I make it, it's going to look, yeah. Let me just make something super simple and then we'll see. Ooh, you know, I could just make, okay. Let me just do something unexpected for myself. I've never done it before because it's the best time to do it. No pressure. I know some people would be like, total pressure to do it on YouTube. I feel quite the opposite. I'm like, there's nothing better than hanging out with people who are interested in beads and jewelry and wire and feeling that energy and working on a project together. So I'm going to take 2 wires. I'm just gonna cut them the same length. And I'm gonna make a loop on each side, and that's where I'm gonna hang the earring. So it's gonna make it here. Okay. In case you see me doing this like a lot, it's not a tick. It's an actual thing where I'm touching to make sure the end of the wire is flush cut and that it's barely peeking between the 2 jaws. Because the more that it sticks out, the more you're not going to get a round loop, the more you're going to be getting a shape that's more like a teardrop. So if you want a really round loop, make sure the start of your wire is tucked in deep into the jaws of the plier. So when I do this constantly, I'm making sure that the wire is not extended past the jaws where I can feel it poking me. It should be deep in the plier jaws where I can't feel it. And you just keep turning until it touches. And that's how you're going to get 2 really nice loops. So from here, normally if you're just going to make an ear wire, you just put on the bigger part of your wrap and tap plier like this and you'd bring it around. But I'm thinking that I'm going to roll it around something and then bend it. Okay, what do I got? What do I got? I'm looking around to see just some random round object that I have. It's got to be larger than a pen, smaller than a cup. I mean, ideally, a pill bottle, which of course I don't have in my bead room. So, what do I have that's round in my bead room? A hammer, a shell. My lordy. Okay, I have a hammer. So I'm going to take the end of my hammer and I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to wrap it around right here because I can always like make it bigger. Okay, so it's just like that. Yeah, Virginia says make both at the same time so they match. That is a great idea. If you're using something that is not graduated, you definitely should do that. Okay. Now, Virginia, I want to bead with you. Where do you live? Have you ever shopped at our store? Have I ever met you? Alrighty. I'm going to get a black Sharpie pen. To show you something. Bought this like over 10, 12 years ago. This is when Sharpie made refillables. And then they stopped Sharpie. So I don't know what to do with this. I just can't throw it away. It's like, I think it's like steel. But you can't get the refills. I looked on eBay. It's crazy. Everyone has the same sad story. Okay. Now, this part is going to go into my ear. So I'm just going to mark it. Virginia, I'm going to hold it at the same time and mark it so that they're going to be the same. Good idea. I'm just going to put, the nice thing about using a Sharpie is you can always just alcohol swab it off. Alrighty, so I have 2 black marks. And I want this to stay in my ear. So I'm going to grab it so that the black mark is on the left of my plier and bring it in. Grab this one so the black mark is on the left of my plier and bring it in. And then I'll wear it like this. No. I'm just gonna bring it back out because I just wanted to make it pretty. See how it has like that lemon point here? If you don't like that lemony looking point, you can take your flat nose plier and just pinch it out. Turn it around and pull it. Is that satisfactory? I can hammer it. That's pretty. But now I'm like, oh no, girls. Talking to my earlobes. What if it's too long? Like this sucker's gonna be like, I don't know, 3 inches now. Let's see. Maybe that's a little too long. I don't know that I want them. Yeah, 3.5 inches. I'm like, no, I don't want them resting. I don't want this piece resting on my shoulders. So I can save this ear wire after I hammer it. Look how handy. The other side of where I made it, it's my hammer, is a plastic mallet. I'll spare you guys and not bring out the metal one, but this would be a cute ear. Oh, I could put like a little drop. Look. I can just wire up the other Tahitian pearl to these. That's super nice. Okay. If you want me to do something like that, we can, but I need to finish this. I'm just going to make super teeny, simple ear wires. Virginia, if you have, I love having you here. If you have a suggestion, keep on going, girl. You're in Honolulu in 2014. Oh my gosh. Well, I have been in business for 25 years, since 1996. So we can blame our not meeting on my poor marketing skills. I have depended on word of mouth, for so long. I love knowing every single customer. I love knowing your names, what you do. So it's never been something for me where It's like my house. I didn't want a whole bunch of strangers coming in. I know that isn't that antithesis of like what a successful retail store is about, right? It's okay. It's 25 years and I'm loving it. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this end of the wire. And I'm gonna make a teeny tiny earring. How teeny? Super teeny. The teeniest earring you're ever going to see. So I'm gonna make a loop on one side with the small loop on my wrap and tap. And then I'm gonna make the ear wire on the third jaw. So it's gonna be ridiculously small. I don't know, maybe that's too small. Let's do it on the fourth one. I think my earlobe is way bigger than that. So I'm just gonna shove it in there. Just kind of put it in. And if it doesn't wanna go, and then be like, okay, is that gonna fit in my ear? I think so. I think so. You know what? There's nothing like trying. And then if it works, I can tell you guys, I made the smallest ear wire in the world. Okay. Then maybe cut it down to here. The other side. Don't worry about the shape just yet. We just need to successfully make 2 of the smallest ear wires in the world now. The other side, jaw number 4. If you don't have a wrap and tap, friends, you need one. This is like the miracle tool. We have them on our website. You can always ask me if you need a recommendation. So then you put them together on top of each other. Take your flush cutter, flush cut up to the same amount. Boom. Okay. Now, with the width of my flat nose plier, I'm gonna do that. Why? Because I like it when ear wires have that little thing going on. I don't know what you call it, like a tail. Okay. It's too long, we can cut it. I like long ear wires on the back though. All right, I'm gonna go pretty soon. Do you guys want to see this on my ear? I can flip the camera. I'm gonna deburr these tomorrow. There's nothing like making your ear irritated, your earlobe irritated and bloody by sticking a sharp piece of metal through it. Ah, but you know what I have? I'll take it back. I have these emery boards that are coarse medium. We got these. Our friend Janice Berkebile turned us onto these. She was like, if you don't have a file, you can use one of these. I was like, oh, I never thought about it, but it totally works. It does. You got to kick off all the sharp edges. People would ask me, how do you know if you've taken off all the sharp edges? Well, run your finger over it. And if it hurts, do it some more. Don't run it over your finger some more. File it some more. The nice thing about using this kind of file is you can go in both directions. Okay, just gotta get all the sore edges off. Am I going to Tucson? Truthfully, I did not have a good time last year. There was some brouhaha about, and I don't want to spread rumors in case they're not true, but I heard that some countries were being a little not so legit coming in, and so they didn't have their booths, and then they ran checks on more people, and so more people didn't have booths. I was like, oh, is that why nobody was there? I mean, there's so many black curtain booths off last year, so I was like, I don't know. I think I might wait another year and see if anyone does come back. Everything that I do sell is all curated by me and Jason and in person, but I'm really lucky because I have a lot of good friends in the business that I can go visit and that will send me boxes so I can handpick whatever it is I want. Yeah. When we first started, you know, they'd let's send like $50, $500. Then as you know, the longer you stay in business, it goes into $5,000 and more, so that your choices just get bigger and better. So these ear wires, they're so cute. I love them. We'll probably polish them later. So you have two options. You can turn this loop face forward, or you can turn this loop face forward. Does anyone have a preference? Do you like the loop on the ear wire face forward or the loop on the pearl face forward? I'm just going to do the one on the pearl for now because we're here. I'm going to turn that. Open that. And we are done. That turned out pretty. I am quite happy. Then if you want to, and you're like, oh, I wish that this loop wasn't that big, it's copper wire. I'll just say wrap it again. It's worth doing. Okay, closing ear wire. Those turned out so pretty. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have questions, you can always text us at the store. Write this down, 808-436-4930. If you need Tahitian pearls, please ask me. I'm happy to help you pick from our selection something that you really like. If you have a wire question, let me know. I am always ready to answer or try a will it work or won't it. You know, I'm going to be doing more of these night beadings, so go ahead and make a kit. Get your stuff ready on the side so that next time we get together, you can make something too. That'd be fun. Take off my mag eyes and put my earrings on and see how they feel. I am so proud to let you know that my filing with that emery board worked. It is not poking my ear holes at all. I don't have to deburr them at the store. As in Japanese, you say, yoku dekimashita, well done. Okay. Oh, my battery is almost done. So I'm going to actually, nobody asked to see it, but that's okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like anyway on. They turned out really nice. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will tell everybody good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And aloha from Hawaii. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you again, okay? It will be another week or so. But let's do this again on a Friday night, Ohana. Bye-bye.